This item began with a simple question. How is a landfill different than a town dump? A visit to the Keel Valley Landfill in Maple, Ontario came up with the following answer. All landfills are different. This one's pretty nifty, and it sure beats the hell out of what we used to do with the trash. Our visit included a site tour and a 2-hour class to study the specifics. We came away with our pictures, some slides, and some shots of the blackboard for reference. This landfill is essentially a hole in the ground, an old gravel pit. Your basic landfill has a liner on the bottom. This can be either plastic sheet or clay. At Keel Valley, it's clay, 4 feet thick. The liner also extends up the sides. Next in our little class, we meet leachate. Leachate is liquid that collects at the bottom of the hole on top of the liner. The liquid's made up of rainwater and moisture from our garbage. It's the whole reason that there is a liner in the first place. Under the Keel Valley hole is groundwater. In the groundwater is, well, it's time to learn about the Vaughan Town dump. Directly to the north of the Keel Valley landfill is the now closed Vaughan dump. By the time construction began on the current site, the existing site to the north had contaminated the local groundwater. The so-called plume looked like this. Here's the Vaughan dump, here's Keel Valley. As part of the agreement to operate a new landfill, pumps were installed here to make the plume flow backwards, or at least stop it from spreading. The pumps discharge into the local sewer system. The plume is monitored closely, and the scheme seems to be working, but anything you hear about the Keel Valley landfill site and groundwater contamination has to take the old dump into consideration. The new landfill, should never contaminate anything. A series of pipes laid in gravel at the bottom collect leachate for pumping away. Due to the existing contamination, there's much monitoring of this and that. These lysimeters are like huge flat pans. Tubing from each lysimeter runs under the landfill and out. The lysimeters are placed in and below the liner in various places to monitor the liner's performance. It's hoped that the lysimeters will never see leachate, but if it happens, they'll tattle. Other types of sensors and probes buried within, below, and above the liner allow the liner's performance to be carefully monitored. As well, the earth above and below the nasty plume is monitored. The refuse is covered with earth at the end of the day. This creates a honeycomb of sealed cells. Compared to an open compost pile, decomposition in a landfill is very slow. There is, however, some decomposition going on. One of the main products of this kind of sealed decomposition is methane. When we pay for it, methane's our buddy, natural gas. When it gets vented to the atmosphere, it's not our buddy, it's a greenhouse gas. All sealed mounds of garbage generate methane. It's only recently that this fact's been exploited. A second bunch of pipes higher up in the garbage collects the methane. These pipes have loose-fitting collars so that the pipes can retain continuity as the pile settles. This is the actual landfill. There's not much to see. Unless, of course, you've had that 2-hour lesson. Building the liner is an ongoing job. It requires huge amounts of clay and careful compacting and inspection. Consequently, the holes being filled from the north end, chasing the liner construction. A berm at the south end serves as a movable mini-wall as the liner is constructed. The methane collection pipes connect to gas collection trenches, all up and down the east and west sides. A system of pipes connects these to a building where huge fans provide suction to draw the gas out of the landfill. At the moment, the methane is simply being burned in these flare towers. Soon, an electrical generation plant will be on site using this methane to generate electricity. Okay, want to see some garbage? This is the area that's being filled today. If you want to get good at waste management jargon, it's called the tipping face. Loads are tipped out of trucks, then compacted as much as possible. There's not only a lot of careful coordination, but every member of the landfill team cares about what goes in. Unlike the old town dump, we know what's in the landfill and where it is. Everyone was being so nice, I was glad to give them a chuckle by letting a gull poop on my head. Gulls pooping on visitors is the main source of amusement in the landfill. This is interesting. It's a leachate injection well. At the moment, leachate's being pumped into the sanitary sewer system. As Keel Valley is completed, leachate will be recirculated through the refuse. The goal is to increase the rate of decomposition, reduce the strength of the leachate going into the sewer, and to increase gas production. Visiting a modern landfill is a lot nicer than you would expect. As a matter of fact, The most annoying thing about Keel Valley seems to be the impact of the truck traffic on the town of Maple and the largest gull convention you've ever seen. It would seem that landfilling is one of the safest options we have for our garbage. If that statement angers you, think about the alternatives, and think about how we can all stop filling the hole so quickly.